Welcome to the show. Before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell and the like button so whenever we drop a new episode, you won't miss it. On this channel, we're always very inquisitive and try to figure out things. Working in the PR industry, we always have to be abreast of the news and know what the latest things are. But at the same time, it's also very important to know history. There's a popular saying that history repeats itself. And if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. In fact, I had a very interesting conversation recently with my friend Richie Etwaru, who's the CEO of Mobius, an airglass company. You guys should check them out. You can control your PowerPoints and stuff on your laptop without actually touching anything on your computer. Think Iron Man. Very cool stuff. They've also recently created airspace that lets you do many complicated and airless things on your computer without touching any buttons. They're on the cusp of new tech. You guys should check them out. They'd appreciate it. So anyway, in this episode, we're going to look back and look at sailors. And why did sailors wear bell-bottom pants? If you look at the military, the Air Force have their sort of own uniform. The Army have their own uniform. The Marines have their own uniform. It's based on what they do. But why did sailors wear bell-bottom pants? Let's take a deep dive in real quick. Bell-bottoms have long been synonymous with sailors in the U.S. Navy. Just picture Sailor Jack, the patriotic mascot who first appeared on boxes of Cracker Jack in 1918. Or Frank Sinatra and Gene Kelly dancing and singing in the 1945 musical Anchors Aweigh. During World War II, songwriter Mo Jaffe even reworked the lyrics of a bawdy 19th century English sea shanty into Bell-Bottom Trousers, a song about a woman's love for her sailor, who wore bell-bottom trousers, coat of navy blue. So, the Navy first authorized wearing bell-bottom denim dungarees in 1901 as an alternative to heavier wool pants. With a few rare exceptions, bell-bottoms remained the official working uniform of enlisted sailors from 1913 through to the 1900s. Some changes were made to the uniform over the years, and in the late 20th century, pants with wide, straight legs replaced the flared bottoms. But they were still referred to as bell-bottoms. The classic image of the bell-bottom wearing seaman lives on today. But why did sailors start wearing this style in the first place? Interesting. Before there was a Navy uniform, there were bell-bottoms. It's hard to pinpoint exactly why bell-bottoms became the clothing of choice for the U.S. Navy. But we do know the tradition started in the early 19th century, at a time when the Navy lacked a standardized uniform for enlisted personnel. By the mid-1800s, Britain's Royal Navy had also adopted the flared pant style, and by the end of the 19th century, other seafaring militaries had joined the bell-bottom bandwagon. We don't really exactly know why, but they joined the bandwagon too. One of the first descriptions of the attire of U.S. Navy enlisted sailors comes from an 1813 Navy file about the arrival of Commodore Stephen Decatur in New York, which describes glazed canvas hats with stiff brims, decked with streamers of ribbon, blue jackets buttoned loosely over waistcoats, and blue trousers with bell bottoms. It makes sense that the Navy wears blue. They're at sea. Wouldn't make sense to try to camouflage with an army attire, which is a jungle camouflage at sea. I think anybody would see you from afar if you were wearing army fatigues at sea. So it's a nautical adaptation to why the Navy wears blue. One theory about the origin of these bell bottoms is that before uniform regulations were established, Navy tailors may have been aiming to differentiate sailors' dress from civilian clothing. But it turns out that the bell-bottom trousers didn't just serve a stylistic distinction. They were also a practical choice for sailors at the time. That brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you found it interesting and learned something new. As always, head over to buymeacoffee.com/SamsonKing to make a donation to the channel. Please make sure you subscribe and like the video. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.